What's going on, everyone? It's your boy, Pat Bernard, aka the Gobbler, aka Pat from Ambler. Another week of me filling in for Mike Laro. And I know usually he goes live at 6 p.m., but, uh, here in the EOP business, sometimes we got to make adjustments to our time slot. But yeah, I am with you guys for the entire hour. That's right. If you're on your lunch break, chime in with me now. Uh, it's been a good week here in Philadelphia sports. I'm not gonna lie. The landscape is really starting to pick up. It's October, and just like last year, we have three teams leading us into the promised land, or what looks of. We have a football team that's 3-0. We're going to touch base with a little later in the show. We have a soccer team that's already clinched a playoff spot. But however, they're dealing with a lot of injuries, the heavy schedule of playing against contenders, all that and more. But you can check out all the Union Talk tonight at 9 p.m. with Gus and Austin as they break down last night's game and the week of. But however, it's October. It's Red October. And the Phillies now make their 16th postseason trip. 16. Last night was not a good start. Last night was not a good start for and this is what concerns me about the Phillies, right? Ranger Suarez on the hill just gets lit up. Gets lit up bad. Ranger Suarez did not have a good outing. Did not. Only 4 Ks, got hit. Gave up 9 hits. Gave up 9 hits. It's a shame. It's a shame. He got lit up yesterday. Ranger Suarez put this offense in a hole. Put the Phillies in a hole. And a lonely Pirates team. You made Connor Joe look like an all-star out there. My man went 4 for 5. 4 for 5 yesterday. 3 singles and a double. Who is Connor Joe? And he goes off on the Phillies. But however, it's Red October, baby. And the offense, with no quit in them. Guys from 1 through 9, battling 1 through 9 innings. And this Phillies team has battled. Yes, this Phillies team looks great offensively. Offensively, this team looks great. And where do I start? Brandon Marsh with a double, Jake Cave with a walk, and the man who's been making the most of from AA to AAA to the majors, Johan Rojas, has made quite the impact. Extending plays in the outfield. You see the reach he can make, the diving catches, the in the top of the second. Looked really great. Oh, look who checked into the program. Joe Hale, how are you doing? Yo, how you doing, sir? Again, Rojas making big plays on the outfield. Great defensive. This is what they needed. A great defensive arm like that. I mean, he's got a cannon on him. From center field to third base, he'll find it. And yes, Joe. Joe checking his I love Stubbs. He came up big last night. Yes, he did, Joe. Yes, he did. Stubbs with a 3-run shot. Again, no JT Realmuto, no problem. He comes up huge, Garrett Stubbs, with a 3-run shot. Bryce Harper, 3 for 4, with a home run and 2 doubles. Huge. Even Brandon Marsh, who recently was hitting the skids a little bit, who sat on the bench. He came up huge. He had a nice double last night. This team doesn't know when to quit. I'm telling you guys, it's just like I said. It just, the story was last night. I don't know how many times that Ranger Suarez put this team in a hole. they found a way to battle back. They found a way to battle back. Joe Howell checking in the show. Love the new kid in the bullpen also. Yeah, that kid looked good. He was really, really good yesterday. Again, the story was, how about the unsung heroes to this team? We talk about Rojas. How about Armando Sosa? Not only is he good for his infield defensive game at third base, he comes up with a crazy home. He hammers one to left. He hammers one to left. Great. Christian Ponce making things matter. Come up with a single. It drives in Bryce Harper from second base. Again, the Phillies offense looks amazing. Looks amazing right now. There's no quit. And again, clinching. And now we are in a better position than we are last year in the wild card spot. And the way it's shaken up to round one. So I want to hear from you guys. I mean, where's the thrill? Where's the excitement? I mean, this team is really, really coming together here. The only issue here around, it's been the starting pitching. I mean, look at the bullpen last night. The bullpen was really, really solid, though. And look, I gotta, get the dirt out of my eyes. What I'm about to say here, I really do. The bullpen. Sir Anthony, 2 Ks. That new kid with 2 Ks. Covey with 2 Ks. Gregory Soto with 3 Ks. Gregory Soto. I'm praising Gregory Soto right now with 3 Ks. Really, really good. Again, these guys' locations. Now, like I said, Ranger Suarez did not have great location yesterday. He left stuff hanging for this Pirates offense to take liberties on. And the Pirates offense was taking liberties on Ranger Suarez, especially the beginning portion of the Pirates offense. The meat of the Pirates offense has really was taking care of Bryce Hart, taking care of Ranger Suarez. Joe Howell says, I'm excited. Can't wait to see what they do. Reminds me of last year. Listen, Joe, I hope they have a big game last year. I hope it gets like last year. But there's something about this pitching staff, the starting pitching staff, that scares me. It's not consistent enough. It's not consistent enough. Now, like I said, the offense has battled through. And if this pitching staff, if it's serviceable, great. That's better for us. That's way, way better for us. If we gotta have a serviceable pitching staff. And look, last night they didn't even play Kimbrel. Kimbrel has been having a couple of hiccups as of late. But, the Phillies are looking fine. Again, Kyle Schwarber, if you guys want to go into further depths of stats, right, you look at Kyle Schwarber, 8th in hits, 3rd in home runs, 2nd in walks, still leading the league in strikeouts. But that's okay because the rest of the offense is coming through. Nick Castellanos, 9th in doubles. Bryce Harper, 9th in OPS. Wheeler Nola, 11th and 12th in the league for strikeouts. It's looking pretty all right. It's looking good. But like I said, when it comes to brass dollars, I mean, I don't know how they're going to match up against the Braves. But I'm not going to talk about the Braves. Braves are not here right now. I'm not going to worry about that bridge. I'll worry about that bridge when we get to it. I saw major concerns. I know my man Ryan Smitty, who's checked in on me, he thought I was thinks I'm wild for saying what I'm saying, but it is. Joe Howell says, who do you think is the Phillies MVP? Joe, good question. Because you could go multiple ways, right? And if I'm going to elude anybody, it probably have to be Nick Castellanos 1. But the second half of the season, after the All-Star break, I don't know how you can not say Trey Turner should be in that mix. Greg Kimbrel, who's been lights out, closing games for the Phillies. I don't know how you can't go to him. I mean, there's a couple guys you could go to that's been really really fine. But I think I would if my lead candidate for the Phillies team this year would be Nick Castellanos. I just thought I like his approach, his discipline at the plate, not swinging at first pitches, not swinging at the ugly pitches. Had a little bit of a hiccup coming out of that second half of the season, but after that, he was fine. He was money. He's been money. This is what you pay the man for, and he's come up big. Doubles, home runs. And then one thing I do like, not last night, the other night, obviously, I looked what I saw from this Phillies fan base. Nola. The fans got behind Nola last night. He had a incredible, incredible performance. Double digit Ks. He was really, really good. Yeah, Joe Howell, you can go Stott too. Stott was really improved. No one saw the year the Stott's had. Now, last night he struggled. He went 0 for 4. But yeah, to have the year that he's had, he looked really, really good. He looked really, really good coming out of the bullpen. I mean, bullpen. He looked good in the lineup. Yeah, Joe. Stott's had a year that no one saw coming. Very, very good. Very, very good. Productive. So again, guys, great question. Thanks, Joe. I mean, guys, what are you guys taking away? I mean, Red October starts next weekend. Next week. Any concerns? I mean, this is a good time for the Phillies again, playing against these bottom feeder teams, getting momentum, working on things. Gotta go to make one more trip up to New York to face the Mets. You handle business up there. You should have all the momentum in the world to take care of the Diamondbacks, and hopefully will be serviceable. I'm hoping this pitching staff can be serviceable. So again, guys, if you're just checking in for the first time, we are talking Phillies. We will be talking Eagles today. We're going to be talking Sixers. We have a lot on the plate. A lot. Yes, we're going to have some Sixers talk as well. Because I'm not really happy right now. But again, this is Pat Bernard checking in, filling in for Mike Lauro on the special edition of a Thursday afternoon show. That's right. So Mike will be back full time Mondays, Thursdays at 6 p.m. But I mean, like I said, Phillies right now, and what are you guys seeing out of them? And this is, again, this team is, this is team baseball. This is a good team baseball. That's what they're playing. Again, one guy struggles, someone else steps up. One guy struggles, someone else steps up. And I'm okay with it. There can be days Kyle Schwarber doesn't look great. But there's going to be days Nick Castellanos looks great. There's going to be days Nick Castellanos don't look great. However, Brandon Marsh is going to look great. Every series, someone steps up. Huge. Starts crushing the ball. And it's just not one person, but multiple people. And look at Harper, right? Having a series. Look at Rojas. Well, Rojas has been lights out in the field. Again, if he had more of a consistent bat, I think Rojas could be a 5-tool player, hands down. Rojas could be a 5-tool player. He can field. He's got an arm. He can run. He can hit. He can throw. Rojas does it all. And what a jump he made from double to triple to the single to majors on a year. On a year time. On a year. I'm happy. You got to be happy with what you've seen from Rojas. Like I said, good team ball. Good team ball right now. And to further the conversation some more, and like I said, this team doesn't give up. You have to try and put this team battles all the way up to the 9th inning. And then if in extra innings, they'll battle you. This is an offense a lot of baseball teams don't want to see. If there is a weak link, it's the starting arms. because it's not consistent enough. If they get serviceable pitching, look out. Look out for this Phillies team. We know there's a dangerous Nola inside. We know there's a dangerous Wheeler inside. Joe, I don't see it happen, brother. I do not see Rhys Hoskins getting back in this lineup this year. I'm sorry. I know Mike Laro is hoping and dreaming on this, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, I wish I could tell you that Rhys Hoskins, and to me, I hate to say this, but I mean, I get it. People like it because he's got a pop and he hits the long ball. I kind of think the team's better without him. Everyone forgets he has another one. I mean, we all know Kyle Schwarber has that high strikeout ratio. So does Hoskins. And then the only thing that's better from Schwarber to Rhys Hoskins is Kyle Schwarber knows how to get on base. He can walk. He doesn't just hit home runs. He can walk. He knows how to work the pitching. Hoskins only has one thing: crush the ball. And it is what it is, man. It has rallied behind, people stepping up. And I thought this team would be struggling without Rhys in the lineup because of the long ball situation. Because him and Kyle Schwarber are the only two who can produce the long ball on a consistent basis. I was wrong. You don't need it. Get on base, hit the ball. Get on base, hit the ball. Small ball, small ball, small ball. And that's what this team is doing. Now, occasionally you get guys with big pops. A Nick Castellanos will come through. A Harper will come through. A Garrett Stubbs will come through. A JT Realmuto will come through with a nice pop. But, it is what it is. Like I said, I'll take what we have with the Phillies. Again, Phillies looking really, really well. Again, they'll probably wind up wrapping this thing up today against the Pirates and then head up to New York for one last series. Joe also checking in. So the playoff roster question: do you think Wes Wilson is on the playoff roster and remove JK from the roster? Good question. I would like to see that move, but I don't think they're going to go with it. I'm with you, Joe. I'm done with the Jake Cave experiment. He doesn't do much for me regardless. I can see why he's been in AAA majority of his career. He doesn't do anything for me. Jake Cave does not do anything for me. There's nothing special about Jake Cave. Nothing. Nothing at all to Jake Cave's game is bringing me to the TV set. I get excited when I see Rojas. There's other people on the scene, but the Jake Cave experience, I'm already over. So, again, the offense for the Phils. I want to know how you guys are feeling, so forth. Heading to like I said, it's going to be a wild ride down the line. Still some baseball left. Like I said, you got today, you got the weekend with the Mets. Look out for my article here on Edge of Philly Sports. I got a lot of work to do here. So, but like I said, real fast, guys, I do want to get to one of these great sponsors here with Edge of Philly Sports, and then we'll be right back, and then we'll transition into some Birds talk. That's right, we're going to be talking some Eagles. So stay tuned.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about Sherry's Tickets. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. Do not pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard-to-come-by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. That's 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, do not overpay and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% using the promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. You'll thank us later. Sherry'sTickets.com.
All right, guys. So again, let's continue a little bit more on this Eagles conversation, Phillies conversation. Again, Phillies last night, comeback win. Ranger Suarez puts his team in a hole. The Phillies wound up battling back, looking great. So, guys, let me know, what are you guys feeling right now? How do you feel about the Phillies? Like I said, clinch on Monday. Again, great game with Aaron Nola on the hill. Again, 10 Ks, looked in sharp. However, yesterday, Ranger Suarez fell a little behind, and then boom, this offense. There is no quit in this Phillies offense. 1 through 9, guys, 1 through 9, innings 1 through 9, and they're looking good right now. This Phillies offense, there's no quit. Again, yesterday, Ranger Suarez puts the Phillies in a hole to start off, down 0-3. What do you know? Garrett Stubbs comes up to the plate. First of all, it was Brandon Marsh with a double. Then Garrett Stubbs with a crusher. Sends it, the ball deep to right. Phillies up 4-3. And then again, Ranger Suarez finding a way to put this Phillies team in a hole. You know, he leaves these hanging curveballs that teams are starting to ding on. You know? Then, with that being said, again, Bryce Harper comes to the plate with a home run. There is no quit in this Phillies team. None. The offense will battle you. Will battle. And this can make them the most dangerous team heading into the postseason. I just worry about this pitching staff because I know at some point the bats might not be there. And maybe that's just me just being a worrier. I mean, I know this Phillies team can do some things. But like I said, guys, I want to check in with you guys. I want to get your guys' reaction. Huge win for the Phillies. Getting clinching a postseason spot, clinching, winning from behind yesterday. Big things are happening with this Phillies team. Again, Phillies making their 16th appearance in the postseason. Things are looking good right now in Phillies land. Things are looking good. Again, guys are looking to produce. Brandon Marsh with a double. Rojas, he gets hit by a pitch. Boom. Garrett Stubbs comes up. Huge home run. Armando Sosa with a home run. Bryce Harper with a home run. Bryce Harper would have 2 doubles and a home run. But like I said, the pitching staff making nobodies into somebody. Connor Joe, 4 for 5, 1 double and 3 singles. Can't have that. We can't have that. We can't. So like I said, guys, if you're just on your lunch break, you're just joining me, talking a little bit about the Phillies. Now I'm going to take that transmission and go right into the Sixers. And why am I bringing up the Sixers? What for? Because I don't know if anybody saw the news. The Damian Lillard is finally got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. Like if the Sixers needed that. Like if the Sixers needed to see Damian Lillard in the Eastern Conference. So, guys, what's your thoughts? I mean, I'm really trying to invest in the Sixers team hardcore, and it's moves like this. Now I see Damian Lillard, and can you imagine him and the Greek Freak together on the court? And what do we have? Danny Green. Come on. And we got Embiid. I mean, yeah, of course I like Embiid. Reigning MVP. But after that, and Maxey, we're going to have another aging Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris had a decent year last year. But still, what do we have? what does this team have? Like you really want to now the Kelly Osborne trade was really good. Picking him up from Charlotte was really, really nice. That was great. But after that, what do we have? What does this Sixer? What? How can you feel juiced about the Sixers? There is none. Good question. So, my man Joe House says, "What do you think? Do you think Drew Holiday comes back to Philly?" Now, that's been the rumor that's been going around. Is that they might strike gold at getting Drew Holiday for James Harden. Listen, I'll take anything from James Harden right now. Like I said, James Harden was an assist. He led the league in assists last year. He did. He facilitated the ball, well. He was passing out but what do we have? And mind you, I think that was Doc who got the last orange juice out of James Harden. But ... I don't know. This team is I'm pounding my head thinking about the Sixers team. What direction are we going in? When I see Dane Green in the Sixers uniform, like why? He's 36 years old. What's he going to do for this team? Is that the guy really going to push this team over the hump? Like, where are we going? And now that Dame's here on the Bucks, I throw my hands up in the air. How can I say that this Sixers team is heading in the right direction when the big names are going everywhere else? If we would have got Damian Lillard, it would have raised my eyebrow. I might, but I'm almost checked out. I mean, I almost have the Sixers and Flyers almost on the same, like the other three teams in the city, the Eagles, Union, and Phillies. I'm checked in. Honestly, there's directions. The Flyers have a direction, right? They're tanking without them telling you they're tanking. They want to drive Mishkov for no reason, knowing that he ain't going to be here for the next another 2 years. But what's the direction for the Sixers? What's their saving grace? I want to know. And if you're watching through Instagram, please let me know. Chime in here. And if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, please chime in. Or X. I don't know. What's and if Drew Holiday comes back, what does that do? What does it do? What does it do? I mean, the needle's not moving at all. You know what I mean? It just and you heard it this summer. You heard it this summer. Drew Holiday. I mean, Embiid. I like to see a championship here or somewhere else. So he's already given Philadelphia a window. He's already given the city a window. Daryl Morley has a mess on his hands. A massive mess. And maybe I'm just overlooking Damian Lillard being an aging player. But just because he's got age and tread on his tires doesn't mean anything. Talent's talent. Talent is talent. Talent wins championships in the NBA all the time. Superstars. What superstars do we have other than Embiid and a washed-up James Harden? Sorry, James, but you're a great facilitator, but you ain't that point scorer. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. And then you look at the role players, the supporting cast. An agent, Tobias Harris. Okay. What else? What other big splashes are they making? Danny Green. Yeah, I can't wait to take the challenge changer to the Sixers this year. No. I mean, I don't know if there'll be a second round knockout this year. I don't know. The East is getting tougher as the years go on. The East is getting tougher as the years go on. It is what it is. You see it, and if you see how James Harden, you see how Jimmy Butler, he takes his game to a whole nother level once he gets into playoff mode. And I think ultimately that's where Embiid wants to be. I think, me personally, the way I see it, this is my opinion, when Embiid looks at the sight glass, Butler, all he needs is me to get over the hump to beat the Joker. Well, let's do it. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. I think this is going to be last year with the Embiid experience. And then we're heading to rebuild. And I know people don't want to hear rebuild. But the facts are. This team is looking towards a rebuild. The minute Joel Embiid walks out that door and heads down Miami. That's where he wants to. He wants to be with his buddy. He wants to live a good life and party, do all those things. And then you're going to say the tank was all for nothing. And really, to me, it's all for nothing now. You spent 10 years and trying to figure out how to, become you try to fix the game, and you still wound up losing. You still wound up losing because square one, second round, you lose to Boston. What did we do? Nothing. Nothing at all. So, I mean, look, okay, just say we get Drew Holiday. Like I said, then what? To me, Milwaukee just walked out of the gym fresh and all, they're looking like the best team in the East right now, on paper. And like I said, once Jimmy Butler gets in the playoffs, he's one of the most dangerous animal, if not the most dangerous. So both the Celtics always winds up giving the Sixers the fits. The Knicks look like they're an up-and-coming team, right? There's someone you have to keep your eye on. And here we are, bringing in guys like Danny Green, who do nothing for this organization. Does nothing. Is he going to help develop younger talent? I don't know. What's he bringing to the table? What? What's he bringing? But look, man, this is Pat Bernard. I'm on your lunch break. I'm here to talk Sixers with you. I'm here to talk Eagles with you. If you guys still want to talk some Phillies, drop the comments. I'd like to talk some Phillies also. But this Sixers team I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of the Sixers team. I feel like the winner for Philadelphia sports is going to suck. It's going to suck. Unless the Eagles can make a run. It's the beginning of February. Then you have 6 weeks until preseason baseball. But I don't know. I don't get it. The love for me for the Sixers is, of course, I'm always going to support the Sixers. I'm a Philly boy. But why? Why? Terrible. Terrible. They got to find a way to win. They do. They got to find a way. So, guys, like I said, if you're on your lunch break, maybe you're catching a late lunch, I am here live on the Edge of Philly Sports. I'm lost for words with the Sixers. And this move the moves that the Milwaukee Bucks just made really dampers my thought process with the Sixers. Oh, and speaking of Sixers, speaking of, the man is here. He is backstage, and listen, I need to pick this man's brain. The man's here, and I got to figure this out. Joining me on the show is my man, Sean Riley. What's up, Sean?
What's going on, man? How's everything, Pat?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. For the most part, pretty good. Just had a game last night, coaching my high school team, so I lost my voice a little bit. I apologize.
Well, you weren't screaming at kids, were you?
Of course I was screaming at kids.
Okay. You didn't have to tell some daddy, yo, sit down. Your son's about to hit the bench. No, sit down.
My parents respect the boundaries.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Hey, it was me, I might have to throw eject some parents if I had to do it. But that's me. But listen, I'm sitting here sulking about the Sixers, and why? Because I'm pretty sure Damian Lillard is going to the Milwaukee Bucks, and
Yeah.
like what's the move here? Like, what are we going to do?
Honestly, if we could make somehow a trade for Tobias to Portland to get Drew back here, I think Drew fits, right alongside Maxey. He doesn't require a lot of shots. His offense is based off of, getting it in the flow of a game. You don't have to draw up things for him. He uses his defense to offense really, really well. So if it was me, but you also do need wing defenders, especially going against Boston, and now you need longer defenders to be able to throw against Giannis. So it's kind of hard to to make that decision.
Yeah, and like I said, first of all, Austin Check-in says it's always good to see Coach Riley. That's great. My man Austin check into the show. And then my man Joe Sullivan says East is going to be East is tough sliding now.
Yeah, the East looks way like after yesterday. It's just like you still have Miami, you still have Boston that just got Porzingis that looks really strong, and I'm reading that they're making acquisitions about getting Drew Holiday as well. Boston, Miami's looking at Drew Holiday, so he's up right now. Like for a contender, especially in the East, it would make the most sense for him to go to the East. I don't think Phoenix can make a move for him, even though they do need a point guard. I'd rather him be with the Sixers, but the Sixers' problem isn't. I don't think it's just 100% player personnel.
Right, I agree. I totally agree. I don't think it's all personnel either. I mean, I feel like there's a battle between a GM and a player, and what I thought was the best of friends. Turns out they can't stand one another. And if you're Coach Nick Nurse walking into this mess, what do you do? Like you're literally you're been handed a car that's got engine issues, and you got to drive it.
Yeah. So this predates Nick Nurse. This predates Glenn, aka the fake doctor. This all goes before Brett Brown. The organization is in turmoil. If you look at some of the best organizations in the NBA and in the NFL, the structure from the owner on down is how you survive. You look at the Warriors, you look at Miami, you look at the Bucks, the Spurs, even though they haven't been winning lately, the structure of these organizations are handled for better than almost every organization in the NBA. And you could go with that in almost all of North American sports because they are always in some type of contention for playoffs or for a championship. And that being said, the Sixers is just not that. You have to start at the top, and from the owner all the way down to the ball boys and the video, you had to literally gut that whole thing and structure it out right. I think Daryl Morey is a good GM as far as getting deals done and getting more for what he, more out of a deal. That's why he's holding on to James so long, I think. But also James' value is decreasing every year. Yes. That he doesn't perform in the playoffs. Again, another season, another year. We can't blame it on a hamstring this year. He didn't perform in the playoffs well. He had a okay series against Brooklyn, but Brooklyn is a bunch of role players and young guys. But when it came to playing against top tier teams, he just doesn't perform. And a part of that is because he doesn't play on both sides of the ball. It's also just not required for him to play as much defense. But when you get into the playoffs, those possessions, it's it's almost like toilet tissue during COVID.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
really, really valuable. So if he's not if he's not playing some sort of defense, he's killing us on offense. And then you got JoJo falling on the floor every few possessions.
Yes.
It's a 5-on-3 getting back on defense. This is a structural thing. As much as the city disliked Ben Simmons, we never ever had to worry about his effort on defense. We never had to worry about his effort on making the right plays. It was the one thing, and me as a basketball, I'm a basketball junkie. I can take the non-shooting because of the other things that he did well. I'm not saying that he's a better player than Joel Embiid. I'm saying that for what the NBA is going toward, he was a better fit for what the NBA is going toward, and that's positionless basketball. The NBA isn't Shaq era anymore, where you're going to throw the ball to your center and let him just pound, pound, pound. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I know, Sean. I first of all, I totally agree. Joe chimed in real fast. He goes, "Holiday is the move that we can do. Otherwise, pray Chicago sucks, and somehow we get Levine." And then Austin says Damian was huge. So my rebuttal is, and to me, like, and you bring up a good point, because I feel like the organization alone, ever since they decided to go tank, has done them no good. Now, listen, they've obviously brought in Embiid, they brought in Ben Simmons, we know, but they haven't had the right coach in place. They didn't have, it's just become what supporting cast does Embiid have now? I mean, then like I said, when I see guys who come in, Danny Greens of the world, and you would know more than me, is going to be, is he a behind the scenes? Is he a veteran leadership that they need, a voice that they want to listen to? I mean, what purpose does Danny Green serve this team and to move forward? And another thing, and if I'm pretty sure you heard the interview over the summer, Joel Embiid says, "I would like to win a championship, whether in Philly or somewhere else." So I think that already told me he's already given a window on Philly, maybe a year, maybe 2 years at most. Do you take a pair of any of that?
I think before the end of this season or next offseason, he's asking for a trade. Don't get me wrong. Nick Nurse, for me, he's a top 5 coach in the NBA. He's a tactician. The way I judge coaches is your defensive schemes and how you go into different games, and you can do that from night to night, along with a balanced plays. Nick Nurse knows what he's doing. But Joel, I have to see what he looks like in the first quarter of the season to see how he buys into Nick Nurse. If you go to Toronto's numbers, and even when he was overseas coaching, he's always had top tier defensive teams. And a lot of that is buy-in. We have the best athletes in the world in this league. We have the best athletes in the world in this league. So if players buy into playing defense, I tell this to my team all the time. When I coached at Chestnut Hill, when I coached at Penn State, Abington, the buy-in from players on a defensive end has little to do with how athletic you are. It helps. It has not that as much to do with how quick you are. It helps, but it's more about the buy-in from all 5 players that are on that floor. And if Joel isn't going to buy in, if Joel is on the floor on offense, and every time he's attacking on offense, and now when we're getting back on defense, it's a 5-on-3 or a 5-on-4. You might as well say it's a 5-on-3 based off of our player personnel with James on the floor. It's a 5-on-3 already. You have a young guard, young up and coming guard, and Maxey, who's capable of playing defense. I think that if the Sixers, I honestly think that Joel will be in New York within the next year or two.
Wow.
I literally foresee this.
New York.
Yeah. The reason why I say New York is because obviously the Bucks have locked down Giannis. Our big markets need stars. In order for the NBA to thrive, You need New York to have a star. You need LA to have a star. You need Chicago to have a star. You need Dallas to have a star. And you can split Dallas between Dallas and the Spurs. And now they have Wembyama. You need a star, not Brunson, which he's one of my favorite guards, one of my favorite Nova guards. You need a bona fide superstar to step into that city, and Joel has the personality and everything like that. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, that means that I don't want to say tank, but we now need to start shifting to building around Maxey. We now need to start shifting to building around Maxey, bringing a few other veteran pieces as far as a big that can be able to just control the paint, not allow a lot of just getting to the basket. You got to get something back for him. I don't want Randall. He sucks to me. I literally don't like his game. He's like a black hole. The ball doesn't move. He takes bad shots. He's not, he doesn't play, great defense. So I don't want Randall back. I don't know what you get back from them, but you definitely for sure need a haul back. You need a haul back for Joel Embiid, and that's the problem. What teams is going to be able to do that?
And you bring up a solid point. So, and maybe they could get something done in a 3-team deal where you get, like you said, a whole back, and hopefully it'll benefit the Sixers. And like you said, you might have to get some future picks and stuff. And I want to touch on it first. Austin says, very surprised Phoenix was able to dump 8 in the deal, in that deal. So to me, my thing is, and I want to go back to it. It bothers me even just to go back. But I mean, it hurts every Sixer fan when like you said, you have your superstar, you have your reigning MVP busting it up, and then when comes game 6 and 7, he's busting up and he's not really looking good. And then you have your the guy you brought into, like you said, to quote unquote get a better result from than Ben Simmons to a casual basketball fan, and all he did was stand on the perimeter. All he did, and I looked down on game 7 like this is Mother's. What are we doing? Just sitting on the perimeter, and what are you doing?
So 4 for what was it? 4 for 15, 4 for 13, or something like that.
Right. I mean, he was pretty much invisible. I mean, like you say, all you had to do, okay, put a triple team on Embiid, then what? And then what? I mean, I love Tobias. He had a decent year this year, but he has his, expression. He expired at some point. His time runs out through the regular course. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I think if you could flip Tobias, see, the problem isn't Tobias. The problem is a part of it is James, but a lot of it is Embiid. Like, he's, from what I see, and obviously I'm not in the locker room, but I do have friends that are coaches. I'm not name dropping or anything like that, but coaches, with the Sixers, and I'm told that he's just not a leader. He's not that guy. Not the guy that is going to he's not going to hold guys accountable in certain instances. You can't it's hard to win with that type of center. So when the debate comes around, who's the better player? Well, the better athlete is obviously, out of Joel and Joker.
Yes.
The better athlete is obviously Joel. There's no doubt about it. But when we talk about playing the game of basketball isn't just based off of athleticism. Basketball is a wide spectrum, and Joker, he affects the game in so many areas that it's like watching that finals. It was like it looked almost impossible to stop him. It looked impossible to stop him because if he wasn't scoring, he was dominant. If he wasn't dominant, he was shooting it. If he wasn't shooting it, he was being a defensive anchor on the other end. He affected everything. It literally reminded me of LeBron in 2016 when they came back 3-1. Like, he literally affected every bucket, every defensive possession, everything. And for Joel to make that jump, he's going to have to sacrifice. The NBA isn't built around centers putting their backs to the basket anymore. It's easy to double team a post player because all you're doing is you're going to zone up on the back inside. And this is obviously casual basketball fans is not going to understand what I'm about to say, but you're going to zone up on the back, and that's no disrespect to people. But you're going to zone up on the back inside, send a double team. It's a 24-second shot clock, so you're getting the ball over the half court with 20 seconds left, 18 seconds left. You're going to throw the ball into him. The double team's going to come. You're going to have to kick it back out on the back inside. It's going to be a 3-on-2. And you better pray like hell that Tucker or someone can hit that shot 50% of the time. But that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. He's not a good passer out of the post, out of the double team. And that's where he suffers at. And then when you see him, when he gets double teamed 4 possessions in a row, what do you see him do? Now he's floating around the 3-point line. So now because he's not, they're going to put a wall just like they do against Giannis. It's a wall right there in front of him trying to go downhill. Now this guy's in the passing lanes. Now this guy, not the passing lane, in the driving lanes, making his drives harder. It's just not conducive to what basketball is now. Basketball is going to, don't get me wrong, you need stars. You need stars. But basketball is going to having that ball move around. It can't stick in one person's hand. I love Chris Paul to death. That style doesn't work anymore. The ball staying in one person's hand. Now, the only 2 people that I think that can happen with is Joker and LeBron James, because they make the highest. And I think Luka's getting there. He's just so ineffective on the defense end. But the Joker and LeBron James affect so many aspects of the game that Joel doesn't do that. And so it just offers. It's like we're playing against what if Joel was in the 90s, we would have 4 championships by now.
Right.
We would have 4 championships by now. But we're not in the 90s. We're in the 2020s.
Yes.
Going toward 2030, and the game is pace and space and shoot the ball and play matador defense on the other end enough that you could be able to get as many possessions. This is what basketball is going to. I'm sorry, I'm long-winded right here, but
no. Listen, I'm agreeing with everything you're saying, and that's to me is just like, again, you mentioned so many good points. That, he doesn't pass out of the triple teams very well, and then like you said, then I'm thinking that's okay. Doc, Tom, hang on the perimeter, but it's been prior to Doc. It's been. You know what I mean? It's like you said, maybe he just does himself and it's not coachable. Like, I thought the whole reason bringing PJ Tucker is because, okay, what we saw previous, okay, well, if he could give Embiid the fits in the paint, maybe give other centers fits in the paint. And it's just, it has been the same. And like you just mentioned, at the end of the day, okay, we got the MVP, but however, Joker went, you got the trophy, that's good, but I got the trophy you really want. And
right.
You know what I mean? And that's hurt some. So I always had in my mind, well, to me, it's, Jimmy Butler is an assassin and he does everything well. If he needs that one piece to get him over the hump, and that might be me to go against Joker. I know I could beat Joker, and all I need is my Robin, and then we could just take over the world from here. So maybe that's why I thought maybe he would want to go to South Beach with Joker. With Jimmy, and I know they have a great relationship, and I think Jimmy's, I think he's maybe 1 or 2 years from retirement.
Yeah, Jimmy got at least another 4. Because his game isn't based around too much athleticism. He plays below the rim with his body. He can stretch his career 4 to maybe 5 years. And I'm talking about a bench guy, being a veteran, all of that type of stuff. The cycles of an NBA player. If you get past 5 years, the cycles is star, then you become a role player, then you become that veteran, then you possibly are in that last stage of becoming possibly a coach or something like that. He will never fit down in Miami. He would like the culture of Miami. The culture of Miami is next to none. They weigh your body fat. The way that they work, the way that they are involved with their players on and off the court, and they're in Miami. You have to be that. Just like LA.
Yes.
if you're in two of the most, this is why I don't know if it'll be a smart idea for the NBA to put a team in Las Vegas. I mean, financially it'll make sense, but the actual team. If you're in Miami and LA, it's so many distractions. It's beautiful women. You got the nightlife. You got hip hop and the pop culture. It's so much stuff. For Miami to be this successful, and we're not talking. This is post Dwayne Wade. They've been to 2 championships. Post Dwayne Wade, post LeBron James, they've been to 2 championships. Before LeBron James got there, they were already in 2 championships. So it's 1 championship and won it. He doesn't fit that culture. He needs to be in a. For me, the best place for him to go, if you have to ask me, not based off the NBA, not based off of money, not based off of viewership, for just pure basketball, with the Spurs.
Really?
Pop would feast with Joel. I mean, yeah, with Joel. I honestly thought Greek was going there. If they didn't figure something out, I think Greek was going to go there. I think that the Giannis would have ended up in there. If not New York, because they needed a star in New York, then 100% I could see him in because Pop is not the. He's not the I'm here for the players to like me. No, listen, we're here to do a job. We'll respect each other, but we're here to do a job. It's the same thing with Miami, but the structure is a little different. He has to go to a place that has a really, really good structure, but I don't think it's Miami. I just don't think it's Miami. I don't think he works hard enough to be in Miami.
No, and listen, again, look at the coaching down there, okay? Spoelstra has been phenomenal. Like you said, post LeBron, and this guy, is doing a phenomenal job down there. For whatever he's given, he makes the best out of. Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of like worries me. Like, everyone got excited about Nick Nurse coming in, and that's good and fine, and Danny. But I felt like I've seen what people have told me, he's that kick in the pants kind of coach, and I'm like, and that's going to work but for how long until the players start tuning you out. And I don't know. Like I said, I've seen those kind of coaches before. It's great on paper, great. Finally someone's going to get in his ear and make them do things. But I felt like I've seen that role before, and it has an expiration date on it where they kind of, all right, well, I'm not listening. Where it's the same spiel, blah 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 blah. And that's what, like I said, that kind of I'm like I said, I'm curious to see how this Sixers season goes with Nick Nurse. They say coaching driving a car with a lot of problems, but
it's not a Nick Nurse thing. Nick Nurse is a great coach. I don't think that this is a player personnel thing. So now he has the right veterans. You have Danny Green, you have Pat Bev, you have PJ Tucker. You have the right veterans in there, right? You have a star. So from the outside looking in, right? Mm-hmm. From outside looking in, if you never knew basketball, right? If you never seen basketball, you have 2 stars. You have an up-and-coming star. You have a complimentary player. You have a few shooters. You have 3-and-D players. You have a championship-level coach, like recent championship-level coach, too. You have veterans. You have the things you need, right? So what's the flaw? Where's the flaw? From where I started at, the organization is the flaw. The second flaw is your star is not demanding enough as a star. The third thing, your second star is lazy. He's just lazy.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I love Maxey. I think that that it's time to figure out what do we do with like we did it a little too, for me. I think we did it a little too early with AI. With Iverson. I think that we should have waited another year, but I understand business happens. You now need to figure out right now why his value is at his highest. He just won an MVP. What can you get back off of him? Shoot, I don't know, but you need to get something. You need to figure out something. We know the Spurs isn't giving up Wembanyama, and the money wouldn't make sense. Do you look up north to Canada and bring some of those players down and mix them with what he has with some of the players that we already have here? Do you try to get the young players, Scotty Barnes? Do you try to get what's his name? Pascal? Do you try to, to make the money work? Do you bring them in? You have your young two core. You have your current star as far as Pascal. He's a star. He's an all-star. Do you try to do that route? You already have familiarity with them. You already have familiarity with Beverly, him being coached by Nick Nurse when he was overseas. So like maybe you do it that route. I don't know if the front office of the Sixers is thinking that way, but shoot, you need to do something. If you could go get Drew Holiday for Tobias, and obviously some type of picks, this is how I would do it. Drew Holiday for Tobias.
Okay.
Pit Maxey's beside him, so now you got a defensive stopper within him. The best perimeter defender in the NBA between him and Marcus Smart is right there, right? So you don't have to pit him guarding the best guards every night and beating up his body. You send Joel to Toronto. You bring in Scotty Barnes. You bring in what's the other kid? OG Anunoby. You bring in Pascal Siakam. And now you have a modern day what the NBA looks like. A bunch of long 6'8", 6'9" wings that can score, that can defend, that can shoot. You have your star. You have your guard that can defend guards. You have your wing that can defend. You have your bench already right there. You can give them picks. I'll deal with that. And then you have the coach right there. That is a championship contender, I think. And no, you don't have the big name, but you have a bunch of guys that are going to work. And I'm curious to see the jump from 3 to 4 for Maxey, because this is year 4 for him, right?
Yes.
So going into year 4. So he's about to get paid too.
Right.
So
he's about to get paid. So again, he needs to be clicking on all cylinders. Like you said, that's a way you want to build a team. Like you said, you might not have the big name, but if you could get guys who want to be workhorses, I'll take that over, and the culture, like you said, most important, you need to have a culture in that locker room. And like you said, that's fine and Danny have the ultimate superstar. But again, if he's uncoachable and people, don't want to come here, maybe because they know that. Maybe, there's been stars who looked at the big picture and going, I don't know if I want to work with that. I'd rather go again. I don't know about, the ultimate decision on Dame or and so forth. But I'm pretty sure the option is like, hey, listen, you want to play with the reigning MVP or you want to go play with the Greek Freak? And he obviously sees the big picture. Now all of a sudden you look at that Bucks team that I wrote down, and it's on paper it looks nasty. So you have the Bucks lineups. You have Pat Covington, Chris Middleton. You have the Greek Freak. You have Brook Lopez, and off the bench you have Robin Lopez. You have Gordon Dockridge. So I mean, George, you have a bunch of names that are there. So they look, the starting five looks good. The bench looks good. And now, like I said, it's just like, you look around the East, it's like, man, like what can we do to compare it? But like you said, if you could build it in that direction, you'd be just fine. So, Sean, I got one more. What do you think though about this Kelly Oubre Jr. coming over from the Charlotte to the Sixers?
I mean, he's going to give us bench points because our bench, like we had an okay bench last year, but we could have done better. But for me, I'm not a big fan of guys that put up numbers on losing teams. And he's always done that. He's always put up numbers on losing teams. I need to be able to see and all of the stuff that we're talking right now, back and forth. The Sixers are still a valuable contender in the NBA Finals. Now, realistically, will they win a championship? Probably not, because it takes a lot of top structure on the bench, structure behind the bench with coaches. It takes a lot of structure. But the Sixers are still, on paper, they're still a contender. I don't see him. I have never seen him play winning basketball. So I don't know what it looks like. I have to see it now. I don't want to cancel him out. He's still pretty young. I think Kelly Oubre is 26, 27.
Yeah, right. He's still in his early 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't I think he's a good player, but the NBA is filled with a lot of guys that are talented. Is he going to play winning basketball? Winning basketball isn't about him coming off the bench and just scoring 20 points. Some nights he's going to have to score 20. Some nights he's going to have to come off the bench and give Tobias a breather on guarding some of the best wings on the East, some of the best wings in the NBA. You have to guard Jason Tatum. You have to guard Greek. You have to guard and then you have to go up and guard guards. Jalen Brunson, Evan Mobley.
Yes.
It's to be that height and that length. He has to be able to be versatile on offense and defense. And I don't know, because I've never seen him do it. Can he do it on a contending team? And that's always going to be a question about a lot of guys that are good for bad organizations. Can they do that same thing on a viable winning team? Tobias is a great example of it.
Yeah, and like I said, can he do it? We'll see. But look, Sean, real fast, any coaching for you coming up this weekend?
No, I'm 100%. Oh no, I do. I have my 3-on-3 program that I do with ages 11 through 14, where we work on just skill development stuff. Then we get on the shooting gun, get on the Vertimax, and then I let them play 3-on-3s. As far as me and my assistant coach, we structure it out, and we're teaching them in-game situations and things like that. So that's what I have coming up. I just coached a fall league game up at Chargers Nation in Morrisville last night with my high school team, New Foundations Charter High School. We won that game, an ugly win. I didn't like it, but yeah. So that's the only thing I really have coming up this weekend.
Now, listen, guys, well, I don't want to check into this show. Give Sean Riley here a follow on Instagram. Hit him up on Facebook. If you want to think about getting your little one, if he's thinking about playing some hoops, please contact Sean. He's a great coach. Great. Again, you see the resume. He's coached up in Penn State. The guy knows his hoops. You see him. He has great X's and O's. So, guys, please give Sean a follow. I enjoy the man thoroughly. Great guy. And Sean, I love you, buddy. And anytime you want to hop on, you just let me know. You're more than welcome. You always got to see at the table.
Thanks, Pat.
All right, buddy. Well, have a great afternoon, and we'll catch up down the road.
Got you, man. Have a good day.
You too, buddy.
All right, bye.
All right, guys. That was Sean, and man, that was oh man, that was awesome. I had a good time. Quickly, let me get some of these last remaining sponsors, and then we'll talk some birds. Yeah. All right, guys. So I know everyone wants to talk some birds. Big win over those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And yeah, the Birds struggled at the beginning. They found their way to bounce back. Like I said, we're gonna have that conversation come up in a little bit. Right now, I just want to get through some of these great sponsors here at Edge of Philly Sports.
All right, guys, let's talk about Cherry Law Firm. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, you got to call David R. Cherry of the Cherry Firm. Call 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your rights. Again, that number is 610-565-0300. That's 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your right. All right, guys, when you're staying local and you want to watch a great game or just hang out with some great people, make sure to go to Dolan's Bar at 24 East Sellers Avenue at Ridley Park. Right off of I-95, south of Philadelphia Airport, Dolan's Bar is the place to be. Great music, great times, memorabilia giveaways, great drinks, and even better food. You never know when a former Philly sports icon walks through the door. You got to go to Dolan's, 24 East Sellers Ave at Ridley Park. Tell PJ that EOP sent you. Go to dolansbar.com or follow them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or even TikTok. We'll see you there for the game. All right, guys, let's talk about Cherry Law Firm. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, you got to call David R. Cherry of the Cherry Firm. Call 610 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your rights. Again, that number is 610-565-0300. That's 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your right. All right, guys, it's time to talk about Sherry's Tickets. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. Do not pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard-to-come-by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. That's 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, do not overpay and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% using the promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. You'll thank us later. Sherry'sTickets.com. All right, guys, if you're a Philly sports fan and you want to travel with your favorite team, then travel with the best. Go to phillysportstrips.com. They have self-travel packages and full travel packages available with round-trip flights from the Philadelphia airport. Packages include direct flights, 4-night stays, all-inclusive tailgate parties, lower-level group tickets. Whatever you want, you got it with phillysportstrips.com. If you want to travel to an upcoming Phillies game, make sure you check out Philly Sports Trips. And do not forget, Philly Sports Trips has all the away trips for the Eagles' upcoming 2023 season. Jump on it now, because you do not want to lose out on all these great opportunities. Go to phillysportstrips.com.
Okay, guys, I am back with you. Last portion of the show, talking Eagles. Well, with the Philadelphia Eagles beating Tampa Bay Buccaneers 25-11, how are you guys feeling after 3 weeks in? And it feels good. A little rocky start. Eagles struggled majorly in the red zone, only getting one touchdown, 1 out of the 5 trips. They've gotten 2 field goals, but they had 2 bad turnovers. But then after that, again, they abandoned the run with DeAndre Swift in that second quarter, but they went right back to him. And DeAndre Swift finding big holes and taking huge chunks of yards out of that Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. One play, he converted for 7 first downs. And with 2 plays, one was for 26 yards, the other one was for 29 yards. Ultimately, they said 130 yards. He rushed for 16 carries. A guy who was complete beast mode. This is the Eagles football that we need to see. Again, you're playing against Tampa Bay, who was coming in 2-0. Now I believe they're a phony 2-0. So, like I said, the Eagles looked really, really good on Monday night, rather. Guys, what's your takeaway? And how about A.J. Brown? Week prior, right? In the ear of Jalen Hurts. Well, he got what he asked for. He was seeing the rock, and A.J. Brown making the best of it. Making the best. 9 catches for 131 yards. He was looking good. And like I said, it was one of the better games from Jalen Hurts. But we got to give credit, though, to the offensive line. The offensive line is what really won this Eagles game. They were stacked. I mean, it was tough for the Tampa Bay defense to get to him, get to Jalen Hurts, anybody. I mean, they were making holes all over the place. You got to give credit to this offensive line and the defense. The Eagles' defense came to eat. We talk about the Hungry Dogs. Well, those Georgia Bulldogs are fitting the bill right now. Between Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. Those guys are nasty. I mean, the pass rush, the And the only time that Tampa Bay made a run was late in the fourth when the Eagles kept on running the 4-3 defense. But other than that, I mean, they looked really, really solid. I mean, like, again, Jalen Hurts attacking over the middle of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. Over the middle. Over the middle. The wheel routes, crossing routes, whatever. The first two plays was a cross route to A.J. Brown across the middle. And then, again, A.J. Brown between two defenders, tight window. A.J., Jalen Hurts finds him. Boom. And then even the one gamble quarterback throw he made where he gets hit, he pops and finds, and I don't want to butcher his name because I'm pretty bad at butchering names. Finds that new wide out. Again, through a tight window for a TD, 34 yards. Again, the Eagles looked solid. The Eagles looked solid on offense. Again, first half very shaky, but after that, once they got relaxed and they start picking apart this Tampa Bay defense, running the rock. And like I thought some of the play calling was a little bit vanilla. I'm going to be honest with you because it was nothing but drop sets. As far as the passing, like it was nothing but drop set. However, Jalen Hurts threw for 200. He was 223 out of 37. He had 23 completions for 277 yards. Jalen Hurts looked good. One TD, 2 picks. The picks needs to be worked on. That's fine. He actually almost had 3, but however, 1 TD for 2 picks, 277 yards for 23 completions. Not a bad day at the office. Going against that Baker Mayfield, and again, Baker Mayfield has never seen a defense like the Eagles. That smash mouth defense. Again, big difference between the Chicago Bears and the Eagles. Big difference in defense. And he found out the hard way. And now listen, maybe the rain played an X factor in all this because Mike Evans had a couple balls that were in his hand and he dropped. I'll take it if you want to say that, if you want to say the weather played an X factor in all this. However, Baker, the playmaker, struggled to me. Struggled. Only 15 completions, 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 TD. He was sacked twice. Again, had Baker Mayfield trying to make plays on his legs, on his feet. Again, a tough day at the office for him. Again, Mike Evans, 5 catches for 60 yards for 1 touchdown. Chris Godwin, 3 catches for 32 yards. Not and the running game was dreadful. I mean, that run defense, the Eagles were just collapsing. And remember, they got the safety too. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers weren't doing a great job running the ball. Better throwing the ball, but not running it. So, but guys, chime in the show. I want to hear what's your takeaway for Monday's game, and how do you guys feel now the Eagles heading down to take on the Washington Commanders, the first divisional game coming here on Sunday, 1:00 game. 1:00. Yeah, no prime time game, no night game. 1:00 Eagles game. Yeah, but are you guys excited? Let me hear. I want to know. The Commanders got their doors blown off this past Sunday, and I don't know if that's going to put a bad taste in the Washington Commanders' mouth, and they're going to come out on fire, or this is what the Washington Commanders are. And Sam Howell had 4 picks. It was pretty bad. Pretty bad. You know what I mean? So again, I can't wait to see what the Birds do. What the Birds can do. And so do you guys have any words on again, Sam Howell, 19 completions, 170 yards with 4 picks. Yeah, not a great day at the office. And I'm like I said, I mean, they, the team that much needed to win. Again, Josh Allen had 20 completions for 218 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. This was a Bills team that just went completely off and winning 37-3 over the Washington Commanders. Like I said, Sam Howell didn't do the Washington Commanders by constantly putting their defense on the field after throwing 4 picks. So, it was really, really tough for them. So, guys, like I said, I kind of want to know, what are you feeling heading into Sunday's matchup? Brian Robinson Jr., the rusher for Washington Commanders, again, 10 carries for 70 yards. Again, it was more of a passing battle between the two, but however, just Sam Howell just getting rocked. Sam Howell just got rocked, and that's what led to their demise. So, again, Birds, Commanders, 1 o'clock. I want to hear from you guys heading in, wrapping up the show. Guys, like I said, just Terrell Bernard, just being a monster. Just being a monster. Again, comes up with the pick. Huge for the Buffalo Bills. So, again, Terrell Bernard, not only does he come up with the pick, but he also had 2 sacks in the game. So, guys, like I said, just getting ready to wrap up the show. I want to know how you feeling about the Birds. Like I said, I think the Birds might have trouble. Again, this is a divisional opponent. We never know. We can't. This ain't going to be no day at the beach. And you just got to remember, Washington Commanders just got slapped in the face. What Washington Commanders team are we going to get? But like I said, all those questions will be answered on Sunday. So, guys, like I said, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in with me. I'm your man, Pat Bernard, a.k.a. The Gobbler, filling in for Mike Lauer. Mike Lauer will be back on Sunday, and he'll be on his regular schedule at 6 p.m. This was a quick lunch break hangout with me, The Gobbler. So, guys, we'll check out the show moving forward. Guys, thank you so much. Chime in with me. Edge Philly Sports, again, 9 o'clock tonight. Check out this, the Attack of Third with Austin and Gus. And, of course, Matty B will have you for the Phillies postgame show. All right, everyone, have a good day. And go Birds, go Phillies, go Union, and have a great day. And then we're out of here. See you, everyone.